Hello everybody, and of course welcome to the finals of the ESPL Weekly Series number 7. I of course am your caster Briefcase, who's been with you the whole time. Along with me for the ride has been Mito, and right now we have Wild Witch Doctors, also known as SNA+4, against Cede.Nullis. Both of these guys, I feel like they've both won at least once.
Radiant team ban.
Yeah, yeah, I think they've won it one time each, or yeah, I think. But
Dire team
so far the bans are going out really fast, and
Radiant team
like we all know, the games are being rushed for some reason. Don't know, don't care. Not very happy about it either. But yeah, so Cede.Nullis will have the first pick, and curious to see what they're gonna pick up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they get the first pick. Obviously, Ancient Apparition's still available in their Invoker, actually, though. They prefer that over him, so meaning AA, of course, is still in this pool. I'd like to see if SNA actually picks it up, but in the past, they've kind of, I don't want to say unorthodox picks, but they've definitely gone for whatever they feel most comfortable with, and in my experience, that's a lot of Nyx Assassin, a lot of, it used to be Nature's Prophet, not too much anymore. He's just having too hard of a time, I think, against the current meta and some of the really mobile heroes that are in it right now. But yeah, interesting to see exactly who they're going to pick up and how it's all going to shake out, because taking a surprisingly long time actually to pick it up as well.
Not to say this, you can always go for the Ancient Apparition plus Ember Spirit combo. These two heroes go very nicely together. You have some great initiations from Ember, and then Sleight of Fist benefits from your Chilling Touch as well, so why not?
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that. Sleight of Fist with Chilling Touch. Ooh, baby, that is a match made in heaven, especially early on. Once both of them hit around level 7, it's going to just be doing an obscene amount of extra damage, especially if he opts to go for that early Sleight of Fist build, which, I mean, it's debatable however you want to roll that, but nonetheless, obviously a very good option in and of itself, and they are taking their time. I don't think I've seen SNA+4 take this long with their picks ever.
Oh yeah, they know they're up against a strong opponent, and I mean, it's justifiable. They need to think about what they need, but if their picks are only as fast as how much they're rushed to play the games, it would be quite nice. Yeah, but okay, I suppose. Go for Bane Elemental and Clockwork. So two heroes they're stealing away from Cede.Nullis. That sets up very nicely with the Invoker if he's going for the Sunstrike build. But there are still plenty of things that can combo with Invoker. Seeing the Bane Elemental being picked up, this is when you say you want to grab a hero like Visage, but sadly Cede.Nullis were the ones who ban out the hero. Bane has... It's a pick that Sigma Gaming and some of the other teams like Empire used to favor a lot, because it offers the immense amount of lockdown. It's fairly tanky as a support with decent stats growth. It's the same for all three: intelligence, strength, and agility, so it's nice there. And it offers ultimate that goes through BKB. You can essentially disable one of the core heroes for a long duration during a team fight. But it does kind of fall off when you're up against the more recent heroes. Mass Summons, Necro Books, when you have things like Lycan, where you have Visage in the pool. And one of the sad things is, now that the Visage familiars have become 100% magic immune, you can no longer just use the Brain Stab and instantly take out one of the familiars.
True, very true indeed. I mean, now they've actually let Ancient Apparition go all the way through. They must have seen this coming, obviously. And to me, Invoker and Ancient Apparition, as far as just a combo in and of itself, and especially if Invoker happens to go Quas Wex, it feels like that is going to be the hardest high ground to ever try and take of your life. With Ice Blast coming your way, along with some EMPs and tornadoes, what have you, it just feels like that's going to be so difficult to go up against. Obviously, you have Clockwork, who might be able to get a nice hook in there, but still, it feels very, very scary to me. Or, I mean, they could go that Sunstrike build that Invokers had, that he ran actually last game, and combo that with an Ice Blast. That itself is going to work out quite splendidly as well. So I mean, a lot of possibilities already on Cede.Nullis' lineup. Storm Spirit works quite nicely, I have to say, against what Cede.Nullis has to offer right now. Ancient Apparition does not deal well with a Storm Spirit right in his face. Invoker can sometimes get out of there, should be able to hold his own in the mid, but yeah, Storm Spirit always quite nicely or working quite nicely against Invoker if he gets that kind of early Orchid or something along those lines as well.
Yeah, oh, okay, so I was just about to mention the Disruptor. Disruptor, we saw Cede.Nullis, they love this hero. I think earlier, they were the ones who picked up Ancient Apparition plus Disruptor in the first 2 picks. So, be looking at Cede.Nullis with a really strong trialing again. They can have heroes like Morphling, they can have carries like Faceless Void. All of these things can kind of counteract what SNA+4 has to offer.
Oh yeah. And
yeah, the options are open.
I think though that there's this one fear that I have for Cede.Nullis' lineup right now, and that is as soon as Storm Spirit gets a BKB, and if SNA+4 wants to get a bunch of BKBs, with what Cede.Nullis has to offer at this moment, they just do not have a way to deal with any hero that pops it. And especially a Storm Spirit, he'll just run around town, do whatever he wants, and he'll just have a terrific time basically killing AA and Disruptor and putting Invoker on his toes as well. Like, a BKB right now just shuts down Cede.Nullis completely.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And now this is going to be a full-on ganking lineup coming out of SNA+4. Cede.Nullis, they need to find some form of response. They don't have the hard lockdowns from any of the heroes they have. And they don't have very much to offer as well. Again, they don't have like best counter initiations in the world, and hopefully with the last 2 picks, we're gonna see that like start to form.
If we're talking counter initiations, some come to mind, or at the very least ones that would neuter SNA's initiations and guarantee a few kills as well. And this hero, of course, works incredibly nicely against a Bane. You just wait till that ult is used, and then you pop this hero's ultimate, and it just takes it right out of the game. Do you happen to know who I'm talking about, Mito?
No, not quite. Can you repeat that? I wanna hear it again and then try to guess.
Okay, this guy, great at counter initiate. Huh?
What?
No, I was gonna say.
What were you saying?
I was gonna say this guy, great at counter initiating in that he just shuts down any follow up, and you can all just wait for Bane to use his ult and stop it dead in its tracks.
Dire team ban.
A lot comes to mind though. There's Vengeful Spirit, there's Earthshaker, there's... Wait. Let me quickly go look at the hero pool.
I'm just gonna tell you. Just gonna tell you.
I refuse.
You're gonna figure out what...
Shadow Demon? But they can't grab a Shadow Demon right now.
No, I'm not saying Shadow Demon.
Lift?
You think about it. You'll think about it. You'll maybe get it. They've picked up a Weaver though, and of course there is... That's right.
No, it doesn't work in their lineup anymore. They don't have... They already have the support duo. They need core heroes that can do that. And that being said, they're running a Weaver either as a carry or as an offlane, or even aggressive trialing. Weaver has always traditionally been one of the best heroes to combo with the Ancient Apparition because of the chilling touch. So they might try to put it to its full potentials.
Oh yeah, and I mean, sometimes I just want to say Weaver with Disruptor, it always works surprisingly well, or especially Weaver with Ancient Apparition, and just that Geminate attack along with Chilling Touch. In the early game, it just does so much damage, I have to say, just in general, that it can really dominate a lane in and of itself.
Weaver needs that Linken's fast. That's the only thing that's going to be keeping him alive. I have to say this needs to be a core Weaver.
Oh yeah, definitely. And now I'm just not even sure what Cede.Nullis needs. They have all the AoE and kind of team fight that they could ever want or need. Weaver should be able to provide, hopefully, enough DPS to take down somebody like Storm Spirit, something like that, but still, they don't have the hard and fast lockdown that they would need to take down a Storm Spirit and stop something like a Clockwork initiation or a Sand King initiation, where if it does happen, what are they going to do? Especially if it's onto one of their supports. If it's onto Disruptor, he can maybe throw down a Static Storm and just pray, but it's going to be very difficult, I feel, for Cede.Nullis right now to kind of counter-initiate. Maybe all they can really hope for is keep Invoker in the back, always have Tornado available, and then just pop it down whenever you see an initiation start.
Oh man, this is so strong. SNA+4, the lineup every game just has been so stellar, and I don't know. I fear for the opponents every time I look at the draft. So trying to get into the mind of Cede.Nullis, need to think of their last hero. I don't know. So far, it just feels like whatever hero they pick won't be quite enough to fill the void.
Just won't
Unless,
have
of course, they pick Faceless Void.
But no, they've gone for a Timber. Not exactly what I would pick. I guess has some level of engagement, some level of initiation, but overall I think is going to have a very difficult time against Bane and Storm Spirit especially, and not to mention IX Mike, probably going to be running his Clockwork against that Timber in lane. Could be very difficult to handle, but I digress. Let's get into who's playing who. We're going to have Ush going as that mid Viper, SNA as the Sand King, Whitebeard going as the Bane, IX Mike going Clockwork actually up top here with KVH playing up that Storm Spirit right now. Over here on the Radiant, looks like we have Leon playing as that Weaver at the moment. Zissou gonna be playing as the Ancient Apparition. W33 as the Timber Saw. Looks like we have Arise going as that Invoker, and everything getting rounded up by Freezer. Freezer the Disruptor.
But now they're starting to discuss about pings.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I believe we're playing in Luxembourg, right?
Yeah, should be.
Well then,
It is
definitely
a European-based tournament.
SNA+4 then, gonna be definitely having that ping issue right now, but shouldn't be too bad, I believe, overall. I mean, they have been playing, I think, all Luxembourg this entire day, so if they make it to the finals with that, you need to know that they are playing very nice Dota right now.
Yes, indeed. Wow. So right away, we're gonna have aggressive trialing out of TCM, which is kind of expected, and they're putting Timbersaw up against Clockwork. This is a matchup where it comes down to individual skills. It's gonna be really hard to land those clogs though with delay. Even though like Dota 2 is much better than Dota 1, but the delay is still visible once you reach about 200 ping. Nonetheless, it feels like it's even matchups all around so far in terms of laning stage. But it feels like TCN needs to play even more as a team. Oh, it's gonna be a Quas-Wex Invoker. This is gonna be really nice.
Oh yeah, and the team fight that's going to be able to come out of TCN is going to be very, very difficult for, I feel, SNA+4 to actually handle, at least in the mid game until they maybe get a blink up on the Sand King, something like that. As far as these lanes are concerned, however, I mean, it just feels like this try versus try, it could go a kill either way very, very easily with Chilling Touch. That's so much damage coming out of this Radiant side, not to mention some nice kinetic fields, that sort of thing as well, but there's a lot of damage that can come out of SNA+4s as well, and it's just so difficult to decide or basically pinpoint what is going to happen. On the bot lane, like you said, it's just going to come down to Timbersaw and IX Mike, who plays it better, who gets some nice cogs, as well as some whirling deaths, and right now, it definitely looks like TCN W33, not, I don't want to say outplaying, but having a better time against Mike right now.
And at top, it seems like TCN have the lane advantage. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing the Storm Spirit can do, but just stand behind and make sure he's capable of getting some last hits. TCN supports, they're pulling the creep wave away. They've soaked up a little bit of the XP through the pool camp, and now they have the sentry inside the camp as well. So yeah, some very nice Dota so far from both sides.
And I mean, in this mid lane, it actually looks like it's going the way of Arise, doing quite nicely himself. He's got Cold Snap, obviously. It's just so difficult to actually go in and harass a Viper because of Corrosive Skin, especially when you actually do almost less damage than Corrosive Skin piles on. so it's quite difficult to actually deal with. But of course, Invoker, very, very capable of just regenning through that constant harass. On the top lane, however, looks like KVH in a bit of trouble. Cold Feet along with Kinetic Field, as well as that Chilling Touch, just helping tremendously. Oh, the damage, and they are able to get 2 kills now, so not too bad going the way of TCN. They've got their Ring of Basilius now as well. Looks like they have sentries whenever they would need them, and all the clarities being popped now as well. And everybody going to be getting back up to full, so this looks like a pretty clear advantage going the way of TCN in this top lane right now, and everybody going to be pretty much back at full HP and mana by the time that Bane makes his way back here.
So this aggressive trial lane is definitely working out for TCN. They've managed to kill the Storm and Bane Elemental. So now Storm seems like he's going to dive into jungle to catch up for some good XP. He's going to let Sand King stay in the lane. This is a great rotation as well. Since they're not going to get anything from here, and if Storm stays there, he's just going to die more and more. He's decided to go into the jungle and come back with higher levels. Because if you can't fight now, then you try to utilize whatever you have and try to be higher level. Oh, look at mid. Arise is going on Ush. Oh, Viper is taking a lot of damage, and now the supports are rotating in
Whitebeard right on top of him, gets asleep. However, they really can't go in. Ush is almost too low to make anything happen, so that's sleep. Nothing too much coming of it, and all Whitebeard's really doing now is sapping the experience from Ush. Does put it to Crep, believe it's to Crep. Oh, Enfeeble, my bad. Does put an Enfeeble on Invoker, making his last hitting that much harder, but, I mean, he's got his phase boots already, so it's not the end of the world. And now Ush going right on top of him, always has a tornado, so this is pretty much never going to be a solo kill on the Invoker. As far as the bot lane is concerned, seems to be pretty much dead even at the moment. Timbersaw at level 5, Clockwork the same. And now we have a rotation coming out of IX Mike, along with Whitebeard realizing that a simple sleep, not quite enough. And then in the top lane, SNA needs to be so careful here. They do have sentries all over the place. If they can glimpse them back and have a follow-up, this is going to be a dead Sand King, especially with Chilling Touch there as well.
Yep, so Bane, he's just going to stay at mid and put on a little bit more pressure on the Invoker to guarantee Viper will eventually have the advantage. He is slowly getting there. Viper, being the hero it is, having that nether toxin is so freaking annoying.
Oh yeah, just so difficult to actually last hit against some guy who's got, excuse me, an extra, 40, 60 damage every single time he wants to get one. And now he is constantly harassing an Invoker, but with 3 points in Quas, his HP regen's up to 10 a second. Gonna be always so difficult just to remain in lane, or at the very least, out-regen an Invoker who's going Quas Wex. And when you always have Tornado invoked, it never feels like you can quite get a kill either. And now, as you say that, or as I say that, I should say, TCN up top, pushing into this tower. They have the catapult, getting a little bit of extra damage onto it, as much as humanly possible. And everything just seemed to be pretty much a stalemate right now. After that little engagement in the top, everything just kind of cooling down. Clockwork's got his bottle, but you have Timbersaw obviously with a point in reactive armor. Everybody just kind of hanging around, doing their own thing, and nothing too much happening. SNA Dota might be in a bit of a trouble though. Glimpse back, there is the kinetic field to follow it up. He still has Sandstorm and a sentry down immediately, so they are able to polish him off. And this tri-lane in the top, just making so much use of Chilling Touch this early on. 60 magic damage, that's almost double damage for these supports, and every single one of them getting it. It's just making Weaver also hit like a truck.
Yep, and this tier 1's gonna fall, but at the same time, Storm, he's slowly getting there, finding his levels in the jungle, stacking up the big camp as well. He's hoping that the TCN supports won't be taking the tower and then rotating over and scouting out what he's doing in the jungle. Yeah, but this is such a last resort, and it's just like Bane, he's farming the medium camps at mid as well. But they're not getting half as much as what the TCN.
Hook in though, onto Arise, he's got the Tornado, still has one Invoke available, uses the MP, didn't actually use Ghost Walk. IX Mike in a bit of trouble though, does have 5 points as well as a bottle. 5 points in that magic wand, can't actually get there in time, this Disruptor. Actually doesn't have enough mana to really do anything, sadly. And not too sure if that was a misplay getting that EMP, not too sure if anybody actually had any form of detection. Doesn't look like it. Oh no, we had a dust on Clockwork, knowing that he was dead. No Ghost Walk going down for him, and Leon now, he's picked up a Midas. And that's going to just make him and help to propel him to be that carry that TCN really does need him to be in this game.
Yeah, so 7 minutes in with
Oh, Ush in the mid being really caught out, but can't quite polish him off unless you get that glimpse. But of course, you will trade if you are a Viper. You always have that option of going, you know what, I have Nether Toxin and it's going to work out. Looks like SNA, though, getting caught out by Leon in the top lane as that's happening. You just can't deal with a Weaver, and of course, he's still got time lapse, and now, it's been actually a little while since I've seen Weaver, and this is just bringing back such horrible memories. Whenever you see a Weaver in a game, all he does is sit and farm. If you go and try and kill him, it just never works. Ugh.
Oh yeah, he's so annoying to deal with. But then there are so many heroes that can one-on-one against a Weaver. For example, Clockwork being one of the best.
Storm as well.
And then you also... Yeah, Storm. And then you also have heroes like Slock. Slock can deal with Weaver fairly easily as well. You're gonna struggle doing like before you hit level 6. But once you hit level 6, you can just pile on the damage. Unless Weaver already has a Ring of Health, then it's a different story.
And now it looks like we have IX Mike trying to set up some big hooks, seeing if he can't make anything happen in this mid lane, but of course they know he's there. Everybody staying very far back, and of course Freezer he's actually opted to get Glimpse up as fast as possible, trying to make sure that they can get whatever pickoffs they can possibly find. KVH, I just want to see exactly how well he's doing as far as farm. He has just hit his treads at 9 minutes. Not exactly what you want to see on a Storm Spirit. Is still only level 5. Not at all what you want to see, but of course, he's not doing too badly for somebody who hasn't been in lane, and really isn't the best of jungle heroes. But I mean, he's finding his farm, but just not the best day for him right now.
Oh, Storm can actually jungle quite fast, but then it screws up your ganking potentials completely, because you'd be forced to max static remnants early, and that's kind of like the last thing you want to have when you're up for ganks.
He actually hasn't, though. He's gone for Electric Vortex, and he's gone the kind of normal build you'd see a Storm go.
That's why he's having such a hard time. If he maxed Remnant, then it would have been easy peasy, but at the same time, his ganking potentials just completely die off.
Oh yeah, now it looks like we have Zizou just waiting in the wings. Not too sure what he's supposed to be doing here is the problem as well. Like, you can try and set up a kill on Ush, but I'm just never sure it's ever really going to pan out unless you have basically both of your supports. You do have Disruptors stacking up this big camp. It's getting pretty chunky at the moment. Can obviously make that quite nice for whoever wants it. And now it looks like Arise going right onto Ush, but a little bit of unfortunate... Ooh, EMP with the glimpse. Beautiful little combo there. Whitebeard is waiting in the wings, however, and IX Mike gets in there. Gets cold feeded, however, and you have W33 get in here just in time, the Whirling Death, to polish him off. As that's happening, you have Leon trying to find KVH all day long, but of course, the little zips out, always going to make sure that his life is a little bit harder.
Oh man, Leon is doing so well at top. Like, this Weaver, he is so freaking fat. And it feels like TCN, they are just so far ahead in this game. So 10 minutes in, wow, they're already more than 4,000 gold ahead. In terms of XP, they're over 2,000. But yeah, a very powerful performance so far from TC. And it looks like Zizou is in a lot of trouble, and there's no way he's gonna get out.
Oh yeah, unfortunate for him, but of course, when you're up against a Viper and you're a support, and you get caught out, it just feels like you can never really get away whenever you want it. Now, looks like IX Mike getting hurt a little bit. No glimpse available. Not too sure what they're doing here, and a big epicenter being used, but of course, it looks like everybody able to get out of that one except W33, doing quite a bit of damage. Oh, actually able to polish off the Sand King. Could get the Storm Spirit as well, but now is running for the hills. Oh, that Brain Sap, pure damage, of course. Doing a little bit more than maybe he expected, and it just looks like they definitely thought that Timbersaw was dead, and not quite, just able to barely live through that. Almost got Storm Spirit for his troubles as well, but couldn't quite polish him off in time.
Oh yeah, so that was a beautiful from Bane Elemental.
Now it's a rise onto IX Mike. Does indeed get him in there, and IX Mike's in a bit of trouble. Instead, though, he did get Battery Assault off in time, and now it looks like everything turning poorly for a rise and getting a little bit pear-shaped. I gotta say, that plan just not panning out how he would want.
Oh wow, that was a big dip in terms of XP. So on the kill board, we're back to being even. But now they are farming up the Ancient Nap, push that hero to level 6 because they know what this hero brings to the table. Weaver, however, knowing that his HP pool is slightly too low, has managed to pick up a Treads, and now this is going to get a little bit harder to kill the Weaver every single time. With all the single burst, they need to constantly put on more pressure on the Weaver until the point where he gets Lincolns. You want to stall that Lincolns as much as possible.
Now we have TP bot. Oh, Lion shows his hand, however, and reveals himself from that invisibility, so no sneakiness going to happen here. IX Mike looks like he's second guessing whether or not he wants to go in. If they do get a big hook, though, this could be huge, but it doesn't look like they are opting for it. Lion, though, or Leon, needs to basically get out of here. Maybe overstaying his welcome a little bit. At the very least, Zissou is. He has hit 6, however, and that should coincide very nicely when Viper gets his mech, and yes, he has it just at the exact same time. So that ability, countering the mech, at least at the start of the fight, if he can land a nice ult, that's some good timing coming out of Cede.Nullis right there.
So we have a 3-man smoke gank on the Viper, but what they don't know is a lot of SNA+4. The heroes are directly behind. Oh, and this is a beautiful ice blast.
Dude, doesn't matter. Oh my god, nothing they could do. Freezer obviously didn't pop that static storm, and as soon as he's just keeping it, because of course it's an instant cast. If he sees a Sand King come in, or a zip in from KVH, that's an easy get for them as well. Where's that glimpse? He knows he's looking for it, can't quite find him. There it is, all the way back into static storm. Oh my god, the range of glimpse, 1800 at level 4. That is just paying for itself in spades.
Oh my god. If I was a Storm, I would have thought I was out of that range, but no, it is ridiculous. You just can't get away from a Disruptor. And this combo.
IX Mike's hook onto Zissou. There's the cold feet, however, and the ice blast, along with a Weaver hanging around outside the cogs. Gonna make your life very hard. IX Mike so close to death here, probably gonna get away with just about 30 HP to his name. Yes, indeed. Now it's Leon versus Ush. And along with an Invoker here, things are not going to look good. There's the cold snap to guarantee the kill. Mechanism, though, Magic Wand as well, and a SNA stun going quite nicely, but W33 out of nowhere, able to polish him off, of course, and of course, SNA now, he needs to get out of here. There is just too much AoE. You have that tornado coming up soon from Invoker. Not to mention you just have Timbersaw able to plop down a Chakram right on top of you, and Sandstorm never feels quite safe if you're a Sand King in this game.
Oh wow. Now the game is just becoming more and more dangerous for SNA+4. SNA+4, I'm sorry. Because Arise, he has picked up an Oblivion Staff, and once that Orchid is complete,
ooh, W33 needs to be so careful.
No
Brain Sap is a lot of damage to eat up when you're this low. Ice Blast lands, does not land on anybody. Finds an IX Mike, however. They know he's here. Nice little Timber Chain in there along with the Chakram. Ooh, a little bit late on that Blade Mail. Wants to be able to polish him off, see, but they just can't find it. And of course, the Ice Blast already being used, a little bit unfortunate. However, Epicenter doesn't find a single person. Leon hiding in the Roche Pit, now trying to get out of here. They do see him because of that, and IX Mike pops those cogs and gets them in there, and with that, this is going to be a dead Weaver. Can't get out of there in time, and just does not have time lapse available.
that's a lot of overextension from TN. I'm very surprised they played the way they did. Timbersaw, that just didn't seem like a very good move. But nonetheless, perhaps they felt very confident that they're very far ahead. But as a matter of fact, Storm, being as behind as he is, has managed to pick up an Oblivion Staff of his own. So he is catching up. And wow, this is such a race, like to see who gets the core items first. Both teams are very close in terms of skill levels. And draft, I thought it was going to be in favor of SNA+4, but just with the laning choice from TCN, they have played really well.
Oh yeah, the gold going the way of TCN for sure. Experience not so much, pretty much dead even at this moment. And I mean, good thing as well, SNA+4, they really do want some of those levels on heroes like Storm, on heroes like Clockwork as well. And I mean, Bane, always happy to get at least his ultimate in in pretty much any fight. ever. So, I mean, hard to say. And now Ush, he's got his mech, he's got everything. They just need a big Ice Blast whenever they really want it. And I don't know, it just seems like both teams happy to kind of sit back and farm, maybe get a core item. And I'm not really sure who that benefits more. Maybe I want to say Cede.Nullis, simply because AA gets closer and closer to an Ags.
I don't know though. You're looking at dual core lineup with Viper and Storm Spirit. These heroes, Viper might not scale the best into the game, but once he has an Aghanim Scepter, he gets level 16, he can just spam out that ultimate Viper Strike. Cooldown is ridiculously short.
Oh, Leon in a bit of trouble. Of course, there are two waiting in the wings for him, though. Fiend's Grip can't quite get him in time, and everything melting that Static Storm. Perfectly used to get rid of that Bane. And now with that, you do have a Rise going in. Actually, nice little hook, but of course the glimpse back, just ridiculous the range, but it actually didn't land on Clockwork of everything. SNA just epicentering in a sandstorm, doing whatever he possibly can, so they actually do find Leon. That Ice Blast not quite on the mark, however. Could have found an IX Mike if he had tried, but just did not, and a little bit unfortunate. Really surprised that IX Mike actually made it out there alive.
Oh yeah, because he glimpsed the Viper instead of the Clockwork, which is a bit misfortunate, but seems like SNA+4, they're slowly finding their kills, and no matter how much the Weaver's tanking, it's just not quite enough. He needs that ultimate orb, he needs that Linken's, and he is being delayed, so very nicely done by SNA+4.
Oh yeah, using those smokes just incredibly effectively. They are finding the target that they really need, and of course the Fiend's Grip didn't pan out exactly how they needed it to, but didn't matter. Very surprised though, when everything was said and done with that engagement, that Bane got away. Pretty much that all of them got away. That was such a key and very nice engagement coming out of TCN, almost using Leon as a bait, knowing that Static Storm is going to get him out of any Fiend's Grip they see. And now it looks like SNA not landing perfectly. There's the glimpse in Static at the very least, but it doesn't look like they have too much of a follow-up. Are able to polish off SNA anyways. While that's happening, you have a Clockwork. IX Mike finds an AA all by his lonesome, and of course Timbersaw doesn't have too many ways to deal with a TP and hero.
Yeah, unless he can burst him down. In which case, but at the same time, Timbersaw, he's also very close to his Bloodstone. Just needs another 800 gold or so. 500 gold. He's very close.
Yeah,
probably
very close.
Takes down the mid creep wave.
Should be fine in that regard. Leon continuing to do exactly what a Weaver does best. Really wants this tower still out of deny range, so a nice little thing there where he's just making sure that he doesn't make it deniable, and obviously you need that.
Oh, this
right
greed
now.
He might pay for it.
Oh, Leon being a little bit too greedy here, and oh no, looks like he's gonna pay for it. Does get hit back, of course. It doesn't look like they have another dust available, so it's gonna be a little bit difficult for them. Leon now popping out those bugs as well, making sure that he just gets out of there scot-free, and this is just what makes Weaver so annoying to deal with, is that, you know, he just throws down those bugs, throws down a time lapse, especially if you can't burst him down in one fell swoop, and it is just difficult to take him out.
And this is the ward that I would call the counter rat ward. It's somewhere over here, or it can be placed right here when you're on the die team, because you know that's where he's going to be, constantly split pushing, putting on pressure onto your lanes. But yeah.
Oh yeah, and I mean both teams doing quite nicely as far as net worth, and just like the difference and smattering coming out, clearly neither team really commanding this game. It's still going very tit for tat and very nicely overall. However though, I want to give the slight edge to TCN. It looks like they are abusing their mobility maybe a little bit better. This Invoker on the bot lane getting some nice farm and experience doing, or I should say, yeah, farm and experience doing quite nicely there. He can go in, kind of do whatever he wants, and as that's happening, Leon doing it as well. Maybe a little bit better than KVH at the moment. He is getting quite close to that Orchid, however, but he is still so tremendously squishy. And with the Orchid coming the way of Invoker right now, it's going to be even more difficult for this Storm to basically play the way a Storm wants to. If he gets silenced, he's pretty much doomed. And not only that, there's a lot of bursts coming out of Timbersaw, and there's a Static Storm available as well. There it is, and KVH just completely and utterly doomed there.
Dire's top tower
Oh man, that was the perfect time to kill the Storm Spirit. He's so close to grabbing his own Orchid. This is what I mean by it's such a game of about like timing. It's so close. Whoever had the Orchid first would have made a bigger impact.
Ice Blast flies, doesn't land, only the shatter effect on SNA. Nothing too much gonna happen there, and yeah, it just looks like TCN continuing to abuse their mobility maybe a little bit better than SNA is. It looks like you have Ush coming in, but I'm not too sure he can really do much. You obviously have Freezer here. A simple glimpse will always be able to get him out of trouble. Viper Strike, and there's the glimpse. Doesn't really matter. Whitebeard trying very hard to polish him off. Can't quite get there in time, and actually getting silenced by that Orchid just in time to make sure no sleep falls onto Freezer. And lucky for him, oh, it just turned the corner. You would have found a regen.
Oh, that sick Invoker plays from Arise. That was very crucial. If that slept had gone onto Freezer, Freezer would have been a dead Disruptor. So that Orchid silence just barely keeps him alive.
Oh yeah, Zissou now, he's actually only about 1,300 away from that Ag, so he's none too far off, and they're definitely giving him, or trying to at the very least, what little farm he can get, try and make stuff happen, and it looks like IX Mike knows it. He's hiding around exactly where he wants to be. Well, that's happening. Looks like W33 not too sure what he's doing this far forward, and now it looks like SNA trying to make TCN force an engagement. IX Mike in the back going right onto Zissou. Can't quite find him in time, however. There's the Ice Blast falling down. Only on, actually lands on 2, but the Shatter Effect is on SNA, but the Fiend's Grip goes pretty much entirely unhindered. Freezer now getting caught out, and TCN having a very bad fight at the moment. Even Arise in a heap of trouble. Not too much he can do right now. Still needs to get invoked. Force Staff up there with a TP. Is able to get out of there just in time, but TCN not the best. Now W33, not too sure what he's doing even, but is back into the fray. Getting quite a few Viper hits on him. Doesn't seem to care too much, but just seems like TCN falling apart a little bit. Some miscoordination and some miscommunication in that last team fight.
Yeah, it's very odd. I thought that Weaver had Lincolns. I don't know what procced it. To enable the Bane Elemental to put down the Fiend's Grip. That Invoker, he's going in, searching for kills. The Invoker, wow, 498 movement speed. Oh, they're gonna find a Viper.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, they actually don't. Ever so sad for him. Leon on the bot lane. He still has time shift. Or
Oh,
time lapse, I
Sand King.
should say. Sand King gets in there, and of course, boom, there it is. A lot being used right there. It looks like Sand King is actually proccing that with Burrow Strike, actually.
Yeah, it was very, very nice. Wow. Wow, that coordination was insane. Just being able to get there all at the same time. I mean, sure, you have the Sand King epicenter to start things off, but the follow-ups came at the precise moment, exactly when they needed it.
Now it looks like Arise going to be able to find an easy Whitebeard. Don't know if he can quite kill him though. Can indeed. No mech coming from the Viper in time there. So a little solo kill going his way. As that's happening, it looks like Freezer though was getting caught out by SNA and IX Mike around this mid lane, or at the very least the river. And I think that just goes to show you the warding coming out of SNA+4 is really letting these ganks happen. Look how much vision of the map they have. It's the entire river. They know where every single person is on their side of the map. And now IX Mike does get in there. There's the dust as well. Arise in a bit of trouble. Able to get out of there, obviously. Has that Force Staff. Can't quite make anything happen, though. And because of that Orchid. And now SNA+4 really coming into their own. And their coordination and communication is just getting to be out of this world right now.
Yeah, these plays are really sick. They are so far. They were quite far behind, but they've picked up the slack, and in fact, they're leading in terms of XP. So it's great what they're doing. They're finding the constant pickoffs. Look at it. They started off the game being behind in laning, behind in kills and everything, and now they lead. That's just through some great warding from the supports.
Oh, SNA knows that Freezer is right here. He's just waiting for any of his buddies to be able to come and help him out, or maybe just for the epicenter. He's going to be using that stun at some point here. Leon now right there. Oh, uses it just to break the Lincolns, of course. Always a fair use. and not too bad, and just able to get out of there. A little dicey for a second, but doesn't seem to really matter. And yeah, although TCN still having that gold advantage, still though, SNA+4 doing quite nicely to get the EXP up, and Zissou actually only 200 gold away from that Ags upgrade. Always so essential. KVH in a bit of trouble. Not the best Ice Blast in the world. Doesn't seem to really matter. Has landed on SNA, and he is going to shatter right there. Timbersaw gets the kill, however. Ush in a bit of trouble. Is able to just continue to fight off the Freezer, though, and looks like that Fiend's Grip having a good time. Nice little Deafening Blast to polish him off, and now SNA+4 not having the best of times right now at all.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Wow, so very, very, very nice place. And that rocket does pick up the disruptor. I thought he was gonna live. I was like, wow, that was amazing play. There were a lot of sick moves in that engagement just now. Too many things that needs to be said.
And now it looks like TCN trying their darndest to make at least one person buy back. Not too sure if they really have the potential to take anything, but at the very least they can force the issue on this bot tier 2. Gonna open up the Roche really wide for them. They obviously do not have the best lineup to take it. Leon still a bit a ways from having a big damage item, but nonetheless gonna be able to force the issue on this tier 2, probably take it. Or it really just depends on, does SNA really want to fight against this?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Surprisingly, this Weaver is going for a Demon Edge, so are we looking at MKV, most likely? In terms of damage output, cost efficiency, I mean, we've discussed this many times before. Desolator is probably the best. It actually is way better than, in terms of like, what's it? The cost efficiency, right? It's much higher than MKB.
Oh yeah, and I mean,
I don't know.
it's not only that, it helps your whole team. You obviously don't have too many other right clickers, but in a pinch you do have Invoker, who's been using Alacrity quite nicely recently and doing his little bit there. So I mean, I always just feel like Desolator is through and through. If you're going to be just going for pure damage like you would on a Weaver, sometimes even something like a Sniper, getting a Deso is almost always the better choice, just for how it helps you push towers, how it helps you take a Roche that much faster, and that it just helps your entire team in a pinch as well. It just seems almost always too good to not have at least on one person.
I just feel like the Weaver needs a heart, and he needs damage and he needs HP. And he desperately needs both. Because, I mean, even with the Lincolns and Power Treads all switch to strength, he still can't sustain through a burst engagement. Down at bottom, so this is the kind of thing that will instantly take him out.
Oh yeah, he does have some help waiting in the wings, however. Ooh, looks like for anybody who didn't know, Viper Strike does not hit people who just go invisible. Something to note, 4 heroes on the bot, almost 3. IX Mike actually throws down a hook, can't quite find anybody. Looks like we have some bugs coming out. Gonna be landing on Ush along with an Ice Blast on 2. Not exactly what we want to see. SNA getting a nice epicenter. Ooh, and it looks like W33 running right into that, but that Static Storm and Kinetic Field, you could not ask for a prettier use of abilities. Deafening Blast to try and keep away this Viper from doing anything. IX Mike actually almost able to get out of this alive, it looks like, but cogging himself in. Not too sure if it was necessary. Doesn't seem to really matter. W33 still doing all right. Arise trying his very best. Gets that Alacrity on himself. Ush needs to be so careful here. Wants to take down Freezer, but of course the Force Staffs just being too much, and oh, just too much damage coming out of TCN. They just commanded that fight, and I think the MVP there, oh my god, that disruptor.
Oh, that was disgustingly good. Oh my goodness. There are no words to explain how sick that was. Catching a 3-man, like, sure, his teammate paid for it, but oh man, that was big.
Oh. 3-man, full Static Storm, Kinetic Field. Like, there's just nothing that Storm could do. Usually you want that hero zipping around in a team fight, doing his very best, and now actually zips through the tornado. KVH, though, absolutely melting to W33. Cold Feet. Is it actually going to proc? Doesn't matter. The Chakram doing its job. W33 can't hide in the trees that he cuts down, but he can just man fight. SNA doing his best to polish him off, and can't quite do it, because that is a Bloodstone.
Yeah, I was expecting that suicide. I was like, come on, suicide. Wow. So he even after suiciding, he still has 10 Bloodstone charges. It just goes to show, like, this Timbersaw has benefited so much, and now he's just gonna directly pick up Shivas, and now he is, like, pretty close to being the ultimate tank.
Oh yeah, picks up that Shivas. For anybody who doesn't know, you can actually buy from this little spot, little bit there. Leon trying his very best just to get away. Obviously a Sand King waiting in the wings. Has that blink as well as a gem. Very scary to be a Weaver in that case, but he's got level 16. Time-lapse never going to be an issue for him. And now it looks like W33 may be feeling all too ballsy at the moment. Shouldn't be man-fighting against this right now. Not too sure what he's doing, but Leon is waiting in the wings. Ice Blast to follow up. IX Mike absolutely doomed. SNA in not too much of trouble. Of course, Sandstorm lasts an eternity. Leon picking up a double damage, though. So, gonna be having an easy time farming in this jungle, and you trade a Clockwork for a Timbersaw. I mean, I gotta go and say that's maybe a little bit better for SNA. Cede.Nullis is... You got your Timbersaw, he's gonna be coming back sooner rather than later because of that Bloodstone, but whenever you lose charges on a Bloodstone, it hurts you so much.
Oh yeah, so once again, Cede.Nullis are in full control of the game. And I don't know if you noticed, there's an Aghanim Scepter on the Ancient Apparition.
Ooh, I did know it was getting close. I just wasn't aware of quite where it was. And it looks like Freezer, once again, going for that Ags upgrade on himself. And this is what I want to see. KVH, though, he's silenced. They just need a follow-up Ice Blast being used. They guess wrong. Doesn't really matter overall, though, and does eventually pop. There's that Glimpse range coming into play once again. Ashdota, what can he really do? He can TP out of there. Already all those stuns being used. Nothing they can do. Maybe if Freezer had his Ags, it would have gone a little bit differently. And I wonder, do you think Static Storm with Ags would silence a TP that's actually started to be in use? It should, right?
Shouldn't.
It shouldn't? You don't think?
I don't think it should. Yeah, it just silences. I don't know, but I don't think it should.
Either way, hard to say. Leon now picking up his Daedalus. It actually wasn't an MKB, oddly enough. Usually what you do see on a Weaver. You are trying to take this Roche before any silliness can come here. You do have Timbersaw just waiting for them, however. One Timber Chain as well as a Shiva's Guard. Gonna be probably enough. Epicenter now coming down from SNA. Where's he going? Goes right into the Roche pit. Seeing if he can't do anything. It does go the way of the Radiant, however. Looks like Leon is able to pick up the Aegis as well as that time-lapse use. That's basically 2 lives for him right now. The rest of it not going their way. AA does die. Not the end of the world. The gem is down. Doesn't seem to really matter. And Leon now, he doesn't care. He's got the Aegis. He's going to pop it. Time-lapse, 20 more seconds available. KVH so low. And the Glimpse back. Oh my god. Just MVP of this whole game is this Disruptor. IX Mike trying his darndest. He wants a target with that chain, with that hook. Can't quite find one. What are the buybacks like for the Dire? Only Storm Spirit. This is gonna be a Rax.
Oh no, this is, wow. Disruptor. This hero, wow. It ruined so much of what SNA+4, SNA+4 wanted to do. Oh, he just walked up there. He was about to glimpse him right back. Oh man. You don't want to mess with Disruptor, especially when you're in a treating position. It's... Oh, by the way, I figured out why he went for the Daedalus. It's because Arise can give him the Alacrity, like we saw in the Roche pit just now. And that increased damage, it just hits so hard. But I would have preferred the MKB, honestly, because you saw a couple of times SNA+4, the heroes were just able to TP out without any interference, and I felt like that would have been something very useful after MKB. But that being said, Invoker already has a Sheepstick, so it shouldn't be that much of a problem. But this has been a beautiful Invoker. He's played it so well. Apart from the past couple of Tornadoes, which didn't really hit, but nonetheless, very nice performance from TCN in Game 1 so far.
Oh yeah, I mean, just been playing absolutely splendidly. Very, very crisp, clean Dota. Now he knows IX Mike is coming, but he's trying to goad it out, trying to not play his hand with his Ghost Walk, obviously. That slow that comes down, and immediately finds a SNA for his troubles. Ice Blast gonna polish him off. Can't quite get there out of there in time. IX Mike, of course, when you are in your own cogs. And Cold Snap. Ooh, the damage out of the Static Storm. W33 to run in and polish him off. However, Invoker finally does get taken out by this Storm Spirit, who now zips all the way home. So not too bad of a trade. Clockwork and Sand King for the Invoker, which has been doing quite a bit this game. I think a fair trade overall.
Oh man, this Weaver is all in DPS. Oh, he's not hitting that hard with only what 600 crit, but come on, you gotta give him credit. Like his Gemini attack, so far I don't think anyone can sustain to his damage output. Teammates are just doing so much work to lock down heroes for him. Oh, now there we go. There's the Aghanim Scepter, right down Disruptor. Big. Wow, and he's already level 16 as well, so anytime they have a team fight, when he drops that Static Storm, wow. There's nothing you can do but run.
It's gonna be big. All I want to do is see another 3-person Disruptor ult. Oh babies. Item silence, nothing they can do. That's exactly what I want to see. And now SNA, he's going around trying to ward as best he can, but always needs to be so careful. And the scariest part is that whenever you go in, you just can't feel that safe. Now W33 being way too ballsy, it looks like. KVH, all he needs to do is zip in, take him out. Has a BKB, can always TP out of this one. Actually, yes, he can. He's got those boots of travel. Needs to be very wary of Clockwork, maybe at the very least hide within a creep wave. But now, just looks like TCN forcing the issue, going in. Chaos Meteor, Meatball in the mid, huh? Not too bad at all.
Oh, it's making me hungry.
I gotta say, you know what? We've been casting for... time is it 1:30 my time? I started at 7. 6.5 hours. 6.5 hours of almost straight casting. There was a 1/2 an hour break. I am getting famished, I have to say.
Oh yeah. Was it, I think a couple of weeks ago, Beyond the Summit, they had like a 17 or 18 hour cast straight. I don't know if they had breaks in between, but it was crazy as well.
Ooh, takes...
we're slowly getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there. That's gonna be the main event, I think. It's basically an entire weekend, and it just goes and goes and goes. I'm interested, excited, and also slightly dreading how much sleep I'm gonna get, because it is just gonna destroy me, I'm sure.
Who needs sleep when you have Dota?
Yeah, I suppose that's true. It's like trying to make
seems like TCN.
Yeah, trying to make something happen on the bot. Can't really do too much right now. Looks like Tornado flying into the jungle. Nothing is there really. W33 eating a lot of these cooldowns, however, as well as damage. Doesn't even have that many stacks on reactive armor. Doesn't seem to really care. Oh, KVH stuck in. There's the Static Storm as well as the Orchid. What can he do? But IX Mike right into the thick of things. SNA trying his very best, but he is a frozen piggy right now, and now will indeed fall. You have Us trying his very best to take down these supports as fast as humanly possible. IX Mike once again going tit for tat with W33, and there's the GG coming out of SNA. We're going to be going to Game 2 very, very shortly, and TCN takes Game 1 with some pretty commanding play. Very nice coming out of them.
Oh my god. That Storm ran out of mana. He just wanted to TP back and come in for round 2, but oh my god. Disruptor, it's not a hero you mess with.
No, not so much. So thank you everybody for tuning in. I of course have been Briefcase, bringing you this cast along with my handsome co-caster Mito.